So right here we had equation number 1, 2x plus 2y equals 12. We had some x values that were given to us. And then we have to figure out the appropriate y value by substituting in and solving for y. So working on a bit of our algebra for solving. And once we have those points, we can make our graph. A nice long line from one side of the grid to the other side. Now if you don't have grid paper, it's easy to use line paper as well. Just make your scale in between the line and on the line, and then try and be accurate going left to right. Okay. So we did that. We did several graphs like that. Now if you're not given numbers, you should go from -2 to +2. Or if I only want a little few points, 0, 1, and 2. Okay. Then we looked at changing equations. So the equation is 3x plus 6y equals 12. We call that general form, actually standard form. And we change it to y equals mx plus b. Okay, and here we have m and b are numbers. Okay, and those will tell us specific things when we graph in grade 10. Okay, so here's some examples. Y equals -5/2x plus 1/2. Okay, here y equals 10x minus 20. So if you have a negative y, you're dividing by -1. Okay, in your homework, where you had 3 worksheets. Cryptic quiz, what did the doctor say in Zorna? Any questions? Okay, so today we're going to do graphing axes intercepts. Please write this down as your title. Graphing using axes intercepts. Now, axis is plural, so axis is singular. So we have the x-axis and the y-axis. That is singular, okay? But if we go 2 axes, we change it to plural, A-X-E-S. It's a little bit of a weird one for you. So we have a x-intercept and a y-intercept. The y-intercept, you are crossing the y-axis. And so we have a value of x equals 0. Because we don't go anywhere left or right to stay on that middle line. For our x-intercept, it's the opposite then. It's where we cross the x-axis. And that means we don't go anywhere up or down. So y must equal 0. And that's how we solve for the intercepts. So you need to draw a little diagram here just to explain our axes. Okay, so just make a quick little grid. We have our y-intercept. In this example, it's 0, 4 with our brackets. And our x-intercept, we're in y equals 0, 4, 0. So you need to understand which intercept has which letter equals 0. That's really important. Okay, just draw a quick diagram showing that the intercepts are where they cross. So moving on, you're going to have a question like this in today's work. 3x minus 4y equals 12. You need to find the intercepts. Okay. So instructions would be to graph. So yesterday, we could have found a table of values easily. And so we would get something simple like -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. And then you would substitute in and you'd have to find these values. Okay. Today, we're just going to keep it simple and find the intercepts. So we have our x-intercept and your y-intercept. So what we're looking to do is substitute y equals 0 into the equation. So we get 3x minus 4 times 0 equals 12. Then we get 3x minus 0 equals 12. 3x equals 12. So what do you do to find out x? Divide by 3. So x equals 4. Okay. So we're doing our substitution and solve. Divide by 3, divide by 3. Okay. Any questions? Now the same thing's going to be for the y-intercept, but different. For the y-intercept, we have x equals 0, so we get 3 times 0 minus 4y equals 12. 0 minus 4y equals 12. What does that equal? Negative 4y. Got to be careful when there's a subtraction there. Be careful of your signs. And then we're dividing by negative 4, so y equals negative 3. Okay, divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4. Now that you've found the intercepts, tell me what is the value of their points. What's their x and y coordinates? Okay, so here you should have an x and a y. And over here you should have an x and a y. Tell me those coordinates, please. In the next one, we should have 0, comma, negative 3 with brackets. Any questions? Can you graph that now? Absolutely. You have 2 points. So real quickly, make a graph. There's your 2 points. Make a line. Now technically you should do a check. Which intercept is this one? Is this the x or the y? X. It's the x-axis. The y-axis goes straight up and down, so this should be your y-intercept. Okay, if I give you a graph, you should be able to tell me what the intercepts are. Okay, so I want you to graph 5x plus 7y equals 25. Start by finding the intercepts. Go. Okay, so for your y-intercept, you should get 25 over 7 as a fraction. Okay. Now to plot 25 over 7, I turn into a decimal. Right? You want the fraction as the answer, because that's exact. But then to help plot it, you probably have a better idea where 3.57 is. So that's what I would use, 3.57. Okay? So, any questions about the graphing? Let's just review special lines real quickly. Say we get an equation, 3y equals 15. That's an equation now. It's not a point, it's an equation. What does y equal? 5. So how do we graph that? Can you graph that for me, please? Y equals 5. Find your y value that equals 5. That's right there. All the way along this line here, y equals 5. Don't just make one point, but make many. So to graph the line then, you're going to graph a line nice and big, use arrowheads. Okay. You can put them on the same grid. And there's the line, y equals 5. Now I want you to graph 4x equals negative 20. Okay, please graph that. 4x equals negative 20. This is review. This one, x equals negative 5. So here's negative 5 for x. All the way along this line, x equals negative 5. So you're going to make a line straight up and down out of value, x equals negative 5. Okay. So here, x equals negative 5. The green one was y equals 5. And the blue one was from the original 5x plus 7y equals 25. You should always label your lines so you know what they're representing. Okay.